Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode of this series called Rebuilding Your Team. I am Sebastián Gutierrez and here I will realistically rebuild FC Barcelona. As you know, this European football giant has been down these past years, but they have had a lot of history, like winning the Sextete, 4 champions in less than 10 years, and a lot of historical players. They're in a tough position right now because of bad management, spending money to replace Neymar, aging players and paying Messi a lot of money. They have a debt of over $1.3 billion, and with a team that is just not good enough because, as I said, they are aging a lot, they can't fight for La Liga and they were knocked out of the Champions League in the group stage. They took some steps forwards as they rebuild, going with Xavi as their new manager, even if I would have picked Ten Hag over him, but still, he's better than Ronald Koeman. We will start this video talking as if we were in the 22-23 season in that summer transfer window. And we'll go for 3 years. All the prices are from Transfer Market, all the contracts are from Barcelona's latest news, sponsorships from the Barcelona official page and Marca, and all stats are from FBref. As I said, the main focus of this video will be the debt and reducing it. It is $1.3 billion right now. We will go each summer by going through finances, then which players were transferring out, which players were transferring in, then renewing contracts, how the lineup will be, and how the final numbers end. So right now, Barcelona is expected to around $136 million on the Nike sponsorship deal from the jerseys. As that contract's current throughout the video, we don't have to worry about that. The Rakuten one is $96 million and the Beko one is 11 more. Both will be current throughout the video. Then, the major earning source Barcelona has right now is the TV rate from their matches with 188 million. Also, the Camp Nou generates 165 million and merchandise sold is 51 million. All this adds up to 650 million, but with Spanish business taxes of 25%, it ends a little bit under 500 million. As I said, this team is aging. We have a lot of deadwood. Some people that have had transfer value and some expiring contracts that will all letting go so we can get some money. First, we gotta let walk Dani Alves, that will be 39 years old before next season, and simply he seems like a dumb transfer. Yeah, he was free, he doesn't have a high salary or anything, but he's just covering spots for players we need to develop. Next one is Luke de Jong, that is also leaving for free as his loan expires, and he has just not been good enough to be kept around. The next two are kind of tricky to record because they have both been in contract talk recently, so I don't know the situation there, but in my opinion, Dembélé shouldn't be offered a contract since his wage demands have been huge. Don't get me wrong, he's a great player, but he's always injured and he probably doesn't fit a lot, especially with the new signing of Ferran Torres. And the last one is Sergio Roberto, who had some great moments and some awful games recently. He has some huge wages, so we will let him walk. Now the sells. And the first one will be Aston Villa taking the buy option for Coutinho, valued at 45 million. He seems like a Premier League guy and he's so much happier there. We can take the money and let him walk. Then is Ricky Puig, I don't know exactly how to pronounce him. But he just doesn't have space in this stacked midfield and can be somewhat valuable selling at 10 million. Then we have Lenglet, who we are selling for 16 million, as he's still young and may want to get some playing time before the World Cup in November. And the next two are some of the high-value declining players that I talked about. First is star signing of this summer, Memphis Depay. He surely has not lived to the name he was brought on and doesn't fit in Xavi's system that we are keeping. So we will take the 50 million he's valued at before he enters the last year of his contract. And finally, a club icon, the German goalkeeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen. He goes for around 50 million, but since the 2018 season, when he should have been Germany's first choice goalkeeper in my opinion, he's been declining. In the last 3 seasons he has allowed 132 goals in 112 post-shot expected goals. For those who you don't know, this is based on the quality of the shots faced, and he has allowed more goals than he should. So if we sell him now, we get some good money, and get our sales plus their salary to 233 million. Now, as we let walk some players, we need to bring on some new players. First, we're getting Collado, Trincao to give depth to our wings, back from loan. They are good players, they are young and can still develop. The next one, returning from loan, is Miralem Pjanic. He's 32 years old and he has a huge salary, so we can eat it 1 year and let him walk after his contract expires because I don't think there's a lot of transfer value for him. And he will give us a rotation spot under Busquets and De Jong. As we sold our starting goalkeeper, so we need to get a new one. And we're looking at 22-year-old Islan Meslier from Leeds United. Leeds are struggling this year, and so has Meslier. But last season he allowed 52 goals, thanks to Leeds' style, because he got 55.3 post-shot expected goals, giving him a positive mark. And I know everyone is worried about his passing, but he's actually not bad. He has a 44 completion percentage to Ter Stegen's 52. And he has a little bit higher completion percentage in short passes. So he will fit perfectly in the Barca DNA. He's valued at 22 million. The next two signings are the ones that Barca fans should be hopeful for. We're bringing reinforcement to the back line, specifically with Spanish national team starter Pau Torres. He's a center back that has an 87 pass completion, a 52 tackle completion, and leads Spanish league in intercepted passes, and is top 5 in block shots. He's 1.91 meters or 6'3", so he's an aerial threat on both sides, and he can even run fast to be that tall. The last signing is everyone hopes for. No, sorry, it's not Haaland. Barca simply can't afford it, because all of the clauses Raiola has and all of the competition they will face this summer. So we're going to get Dusan Blachovich, the 22-year-old striker that has been tearing up Syria these past 2 seasons. He broke Ronaldo 1 calendar year scoring record and has scored 41 goals in 30 expected goals, so he's a top-class finisher. He also can drop back to generate for his team as he has 6.1 expected assists and can play with his back to the goal, letting the wingers go back and getting in front of the goal. Maybe Fiorentina will sell it a little bit cheaper than needed because he will have 1 year left on his contract, so gotta get some money before. These signings in total will cost around 200 million. We also need to renew some contracts before they expire. The main one is our center back, Ronald Aragon. He has 1 year left and he's a vital part of his teams. There are rumors of a lot of teams wanting him in the Premier League, Paris Saint-Germain, and even Real Madrid, so we gotta lock him in. We're giving him a 5-year deal for 6 million each of these years. He will stay with us. Next is breakthrough player from the academy in youngster Gavi, who deserves a pay raise before he can hit the open market. He will be getting a little bit under $1 million per year for the next 4 years. And finally, the last contract we need to address this year is another youngster in 23-year-old winger Hutkla. He has been a Xavi kid that has taken advantage of the minutes, and he deserves a deal around $2.4 million for the next 4 years to stay here. Now our final count. To summarize the finances, we spent 203 million signings, 9 million in new contracts, and 72 million in the current contracts we have. We are getting 487 million between sponsors, ticket sales in the stadium and merchandise, plus the 233 million in players sold. So we get a profit of 435 million, and this will decrease the debt from 1.369 to 933 million. Here you can see the final Excel. Now the lineup. We will play a classic Barca 4-3-3 with Meslier, Neto, Peña as keepers, even though Meslier will be the clear-cut starter. Then we have a center backs Araujo and Pau to start, with Piqué, Eric, Garcia, Titi, and even Mingueza as backups. At right back we will have Dest, Moussa Guag, and Mingueza, who can also play there. And left backs will be Jordi Alba and Balde. The starting midfielders will be the same, with Busi, Frenkie, and Pedri, as we have Pjanic, Nico, and Gavi to rotate with them. The attackers will be Ansu, Ferran as starters, with Abde, Jutla, Trincao, Collado to rotate the wings. And start signing Blachovich will be our number 9, with Braithwaite as our backup. For sure this team is not going to win the Champions League or the Spanish League, but can fight for that top 4 and get the Champions League spot next year, and may even get past the group stage this year. But most importantly, we got rid of some of the debt, and that's the main focus. Now we're going to start with the 23-24 summer. I know the first season was a smooth one, especially the transfer, but this one has less needs and less people to get rid of. All of the previous sponsors and TV deals are current, so there is no change in there. Except one where taking the current board has been exploring, and that's selling the naming rights of Camp Nou. I know a lot of conservative Barca fans don't like it, but if we can get a short deal until Lionel Messi retires and we can name it after him, I will totally be on board. Considering deals like Juve, Bayern and even Athletic are around 50-45 million depending on the date, we should get an extra 55 million to our finances. Now we're going to the transfers. First, we're selling two recent signings that haven't lived up to what they should. In Umtiti, that still has some value, and he hasn't been the same since that 2018 World Cup win. The second one will be Braithwaite, that was signed in a case of emergency, and we can get 5 million for him. For free, we're letting go Pjanic and Neto, but the top one here will be letting go long-time captain Sergio Busquets. Let's face it, he's not the same. He has not aged well, and he earns around 15 million. So letting him go with his contract ended will save some money, and we can give him a good farewell game. This would give us around 57 million for the year. Now, to bring on some players, we're going to cover those two midfielders that we let walk. First one will be defensive midfielder from Monaco, Sukhmandi. He's been the breakout player of League 1 this season, so we're not making the same mistake as with Dembélé, and we will wait one more year to see how good he develops, and trust me, he will. He leads the all-major 5 league midfielders of under 23 years old in interceptions, block shots and won tackles. We're also getting Real Sociedad Martin Sukhmandi, and he's been playing a lot since the pandemic. He doesn't defend as well as Sukhmandi, but he's a deep playmaker. He has an 87 pass completion, 4.57 progressive passes per 90 minutes, and he's also great in the air despite being only 6 feet or 180. He wins 2.4 aerial duels per 90 minutes. Sukhmandi values at 57 million and Sukhmandi's 28. Plus their expected salaries, we would be spending 103 million more or less. Now we also need to renew some contracts. And these 4 we're renewing are 2 young players that have rotation spots in our squad. Starting with our second choice goalkeeper Iñaki Peña. He will get 3.5 million for the next 4 years. Then Mingueza signs around 3 million for 4 years too. Nico gets a new deal for 5 years of around 10 million. And finally our young left back Alejandro Balde signs 4 years for 2.25 million each year. And now our final financial count has our earnings going up to 530 million after taxes. And we also sold 5 players to gain around 55 or 56 million. We did spend a lot on 2 transfers, so we used 103 million. And the contracts renewed take us to 18 million. And the rest of the remaining contracts in the squad cost around 63 million per year. So that totals a profit of around 400 million, putting the debt to 532 million left to pay ahead. Again, for our lineup, we keep Xavi and that Barca DNA with the 4-3-3. We have goalkeeper Meslier and Peña as only backup. The defenders will be the same with Alba, Araujo, Torres and Des from left to right. And now, as second choice, we have Balde, Garcia, Mingueza that can also play right back, Piqué and Guag as right back. The place we spend on is our midfielders, as we get Sukhmandi and Subimendi as backup to play CDM. We have Frenkie, Nico, Pedri and Gavi to fight for the 2 other spots in the midfield. Our wingers stay the same with Ansu, Abde, Jutla, Ferran, Collado and Trincao to battle for 2 spots. And as number 9 we have Blachovich and call-up prospect Ilais, a co-match from Barca B. As you can see, we finished the 23-24 with a lot of good players and lowering the debt. And as this year, our finances will stay the same. We will be earning the 529 million after tax, but this also depends on how deep our Champions League run is, as those tickets are the most expensive ones and are always sold out. But we're not going to do predictions for the future, just rebuilding the teams. This year we're not going to go crazy on the signings and transfer out either. This year we clear the debt as much as we can. This year, as I said, we're not moving a lot in the squad, but we're letting go of club legend Gerard Piqué, as he will turn 37 before the season starts and his contract expires. So we will let him go to the MLS or something and save 12.5 million on his remaining contract. Now, to transfer in, our squad looks great with some good depth, but there's one position that worries me, and that's left back. You will see what we will do with Alba later, but we're signing Valencia's youngster Vasquez. He will be 21 this year, but in his debut in the 2021-22 season, he has been great backing up Gadja. His contract expires in 2023, and I expect them to renew him, so it will cost us around 7.5 million, as he will still be just a kid. In the final year of this video, we have a final count of 429 million as profit. But the main focus, as I said, was taking the debt, and practically it's done. We left it at 91 million, and as you can see, it probably will be gone next year. This is where I think the club should be in the next 3 years, and what their main aim should be. They won't be winning Champions League or even the Spanish League, but still competing and getting that financial stability and plan for the next years. This year's lineup did not change much, as you can see. The starting 11 is practically the same, with only a few changes in our subs. This year we have the financial stability we were looking for, so maybe it all comes down to this year. If Xavi can make at least quarterfinals in the Champions League and a top 3 finish in Spain, we can keep it, but maybe we can move on. As I said at the beginning, I was not on board on this signing because he has experience in a lesser league. He's not a bad manager by any means, and fans love him and he plays the Barca way. So I get why Laporta wanted to bring him and make fans happy. And there you have it, my Barca 3-year rebuild plan. We reduced the debt to almost nothing. That's the main aim. We got a great team. I mean, this is nothing like the early 2010s, but still can compete for something. Let me know what you think about my signings, and would you keep Xavi or not? Also, let me know what team would you like next. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.